Okay, it's another surprise stream. I'll leave a note in the chat. At least that's the goal. It should be possible. We are in 36 currently. I have a vague idea what's going on. We're using glass cards for score. That's the first thing, so I need to make sure to print more of those. I don't think we really need anything in the shop. There's not much that can help currently, as far as I'm aware. We were scoring something like 200 something E's last time, so we just need a couple of more planets and we can get to the big cool place. He's pretty big at this point, yes. We can, like, he can go over 500k. I think that's a nice round number. Also welcome. The biggest problem in this run still is that I have not seen a single ectoplasm, and it just feels like, how is that possible? I have all the vouchers now, so we can, if we are very lucky, find one of them just in a pack. So I think I just go into a place, print some planets, then we do the burglar from many hands. Again, the most epic gameplay ever seen. We have glass cards, which is cool, so we can just slap in the DNA with... What do we have? 8 re-triggers, 6 blueprints, and there are 2 brainstorms here. We just wait for the game to calculate a single card. Not the best look. And then we just play 4s. Because 5 we score. Actually, I don't even know if we score high enough now. That's the big spicy meatball that we have to deal with here. Because all I have is my planet stack, a tiny man, and many re-triggers of the ghostly hack. As long as that's enough, we're fine. If it's not fine, it's over. Oh, we just go back to the drawing board with a tiny, mega tiny man. And somehow he has to just remain whatever size he was. I think now I need to try to save up so I have 5 glass cards and 5 steel at the end. Ideally. Problem is, with as many glass cards as we create, most of them also just explode. It's very tricky to make sure we land them at the end when we need them, because for now it's just whatever. Slap in the 2s. More 2s is all we need. Also sitting on just a casual 18E. Not even, and almost 500,000 ships without going through the planets at all. I hope we don't get any surprise. I mean, I don't want, that's like the cool super card we have, the 1 polychrome glass card. I don't want to just blast that either, so I'm on the off chance that we find a red seal. Would be incredible, but seems highly unlikely at this point. So he started at 474. If I remember correctly, he should grow by like 9k for every round. And we have 3 more Antes to go, so you can do the math if you care about the math. But score, like, I don't know how many, I still have no idea how many planets I need to hit the cool almost infinity number. Because last time I was stupid enough to drag anything to Ante 39, it took 500, but then I must have had a different setup of cards or re-triggers and whatever, like, it's not all in the planets. But we don't have... Like, sure, we're playing 2's the worst card. But if we're playing 5 glass cards and we reactivate them 11 times each, that's still a pretty cool multiplier. We have to throw more of them. Because now I'm not going to have any steel cards. The luck of the draw at the end, really. Because we can still play all the hands. We have so many. We have roughly enough cards, not entirely enough. Or maybe too many now. It completely depends on whatever the glass cards decide to do. And the main decision now is like, do we want to just... So I have 5 here. I could just live with 4 steel cards and save this one. It's so unlikely that we find either an ectoplasm or a red seal. And even if we find a red seal in a pack, like the chances that I draw the 1-2 that matters, the single blessed card, very unlikely. So remaining is a glass card. We can still play one more hand. We have 5 here, so let's just sneak in one more, like it's gonna matter if we are all in on the big boy. He's up by 10k now, I guess, because maybe we have more hands. Am I gonna just sacrifice? I mean, sure. Else I'm just never gonna use it. On a flush 5, better be enough. 134 E's here before the... Okay, that's not the margin I would like to see, but... 268. But still only 3 or 4. Okay, and then flip the dudes around, get them in position. This is like the one thing that can go wrong. I think there is still a case for re-rolling the shop, because with all the vouchers we can actually find just straight up cards with seals, or like a lucky 10 that's going to be useless, a rock. And we have 3 dudes that are not like... I'm not gonna find 3 ectoplasms anyway, that's going to be impossible. So we might as well wheel up some things. We hit 1 polychrome thing, that would be cool. Because as things stand now, I think we have exactly 1 disco man, and it's the burglar. Everything else is just nothing interesting. Or is it worth looking in here as well? Like, again, the chance of a red seal polychrome 2. So low. I have no idea what the chance actually is, but it has to be. Has to be bad. Could also just skip for a disco tag. Is nice. 32 hands. Right, we have a mime as well, which is actually relevant. More glass cards is more good. Although we could, if I don't use the DNA now, I could play actually 1 more hand of 4 cards, which might be better. It's going to be more investment in the tiny man. It's not like this run has been perfectly optimal or whatever anyway, but we might as well squeeze in the hands that we can while we can. Because we are running out of Antes, we are running out of food for the tiny dude to eat. And with nothing left, we're going to have to just leave him. I wish I could also just dig up the... Because before we had the negative cool tiny man, we had a normal tiny man who I think reached exactly 1,000 ships. Then we sacrificed him in order to get a cooler dude. But if we could now just dig him up and feed him also to this guy, that's 1,000 more ships. That's pretty nice. Like at least a couple of hands worth. And everything in here is... rest is just... I mean, the duo, I guess, helps. That's essentially one more glass card for free. And the disco burglar. The rest is just nothing. It's like a boot, I think there's a bull, it's a splash. We have the ghost man. Sixth Sense is his actual name. But as usual, he never delivered anything of value. And again, I'm thinking... chances that we draw an ectoplasm out of that dude is also 0. And one more viewer. Very cool. Welcome. We're doing stupid science that you should never do in this game, but that we're doing anyway. Just to see how far we can drag one tiny man. It is vanilla. It's I have 2 mods, which is the... like, I might as well be, but this is just to skip scoring animations because it would take 1,000 years, and I have a speed up mod, which is now actually a slow down mod, because with the animation skip, it slows down the game. Else it's vanilla, but it is a crazy seed, like I would not have been able to do this on just a random run. But it is a crazy setup where we're just playing 1,000,000 hands, because every 2 we stack this guy up. So it's just a matter of as many blueprints and stuff we can find on a hack to play more 2s. That's the whole plan. Everything else is just to make that work. In casual, 640 planets, which is the scoring possibility. Everything else is pretty bad. Yes, because we have Observatory, which is a voucher. And that's the way we're scoring, if I can find it. This one. So the planets give 1.5 time multiplier for a flush 5. So if I play 5 cards, we multiply through this entire stack. So we have to play 4. But we also have, I found an actual natural negative DNA, so I can make 9 cards at the start of every round. If we want to lag the game even more, because that's really the only thing that's happening. And he's getting close to an actual cool, relevant number. The main problem I'm having now is that I kind of need to end on 5 glass cards and 5 steel cards if possible, but it's a bit dodgy. It's not been a fast run. It's also, this is the entire gameplay, like it's not very watchable at this point, but we're now close to the end. I might as well just finish it. And then we can cut like 99% of everything that ever happened, and maybe it's a decent video at that point. Okay, this is now the end of what we have, which might not be enough, because I didn't pay attention to the steel cards, but we have again 5 glass cards and 639 planets. It was something like 268 last time. 265. Like, are we going to actually keep up with the blinds? I'm not certain. It could just be a disaster. Like, wiping... Well, we're going to get to 500k in literally the next round, so that part is fine. But it would be nice to just reach the end of the line completely. Just gonna hunt again for... Again, there's no way I'm finding 3 ectoplasms. We might as well wheel some dudes. Thanks, I'm gonna need the luck. And if I have the luck, I will find a polychrome 2 that I can then copy, but also seems very unlikely. But I don't know what else I'm gonna do with the cash. Because there is literally nothing else that helps that I can think of. And we are getting the spectral cards, it's not the right ones. I make a rock, because why not have a rock? It's going to have to be the 9 planets is going to have to be enough. That's fine. Base cards, we really don't care about that. Now I don't have a glass card. Do I need to make... Let's just not make more cards, then that's fine. We just play our 4, and we try to actually pay attention now to whenever that happens. I haven't even checked how many he grows by exactly from one hand. It's not really that important. One day, in a couple of hours, hopefully. Maybe not even that. It should be quite quick now. That's the flush 5, that's the wrong hand. We have to save scum immediately, never mind. Or it's not actually enough with... Okay, cool. It's not actually enough without 5 glass cards. Cool. But I completely beansed that and gave up 25 hands. That would have been bad. But this is like... I'm one click off a disaster at all times. It's gonna happen one of these days. 498. $4.99. But the game still only needs less than 2 seconds to calculate this madness, so I guess we can live with that. And we have 500,000 on a tiny man. Hopefully one of the biggest tiny men ever seen. I'm never expecting like a record or whatever. It's just science. Push him as far as he can go and that's fine. But we have Ante 37, 38 and then 1 round in 39 is the end, right? So we have 7 more rounds. Which should be potentially another 70k on that dude. And again, the only way to increase that is if I could get an ectoplasm, then somehow find a showman and the blueprint after that to get him in. So we have more reactivates for every hand we play. Because that would have added up very quickly if I just had a single ectoplasm. At the same time, can't really complain when we have 6 blueprints, 2 brainstorms, a natural negative Perkio, and then I've used... The rest is like man-made with stupid negative tag setups to land 1 or 2 useful things and a lot of garbage in between. Which is an interesting enough challenge. I'm gonna try now to also pay attention to the cards I have in hand so we don't throw it all away at the end. Because it's still too close. And I'm not really... Like I haven't done much math with E numbers or with this many exponentials, so adding another 9 times 1.5 multiplier. Is that fast enough for the Antes? I don't know. I'm just gonna slap in the hands and hopefully it's okay. Okay, so this is now actually the perfect setup, but we have 5 more cards, so we should still draw them. So I don't think like hitting 600k would take a miracle. An ectoplasm miracle. We also have 1. I have way too many glass cards actually. That means I can play 2 more though, because they don't count for anything in hand. We don't have... We have a mime, but that's only gonna go on the steel cards anyway. 269. So whatever this Ante is could be bad. Let's use the Infinite blank vouchers. 268. Okay, we are... But 2 more steel cards should make that fine. Like, that's still enough. But it's now just stupidly close. I could also just... Since we don't have that many rounds left, we might as well just look at the shop a bit. I don't think the chances of finding anything that is relevant are that high. A Disco 7 is quite nice. Not the right kind of card though. It will take 1,000,000 strengths to get it around to be useful. Take for a couple more cards. Because if we don't use the money, it's just a waste. Marble, dude, we could... Do we transition to stone cards? This close to the end. We have a couple of ships on the tiny man. That would work well with the rocks. Like, out of the cards we find, most of them still don't have anything useful on them. So, hold on. More planets. More burglar. We have 32 hands. And I think I still need more cards because I lost 9 in the last round. So DNA is still relevant. Unless we are at a point where not doing that 1 card hand and instead doing another 4 or 5 even, because we are now that close on score. If that would add up to eventually drag this guy over 600k, that would be worth doing. I just don't think it will, it seems too far. We also have basically no way to make cash at this point. I literally get whatever I get from beating the round and the tiny interest. But he's a growing boy. I wish I could just feed him all the other jokers as well. Like, if the bull was actually worth 5.8k ships, if we could just slam that down the face hole of the tiny man. A nice big steak dinner on top of all the boosting we've already done. He will be so much bigger. Same for the boot. Although eating a boot, not as nice. Yeah, where are the... Just hopefully I'm not sitting too far from the mic just because I'm extra lazy. So many things that can go wrong and I wouldn't even know. Just do the game thing. 510. So 550 is very likely. Or whatever I said earlier, 570 maybe, even. If the planets are enough. Because this is still too close every single round. I also think we did blow up the one polychrome glass card we had. But without the red seal, it's actually worse than a red seal glass card. So it was only theoretically better if we ever find another seal. Okay, keep some steel cards. And some glass cards. Because the deck being what it is, I can't even really see what I have left. Kind of, I guess, if I look closely. Now we'll loan the glass cards in hand instead. There's always one of the two is going to be a problem. But the glass cards are more important than the steel. Well, they should be at least, because with the 9 retriggers plus the red seal and stuff, we're playing them 11 times is more important than a mime playing a steel card in hand 3 times. But if I had only 1 E spare, it's a bit too close. Hopefully we have the steel cards this time. We do not. Last 2 could be steel, and that would be cool. A gold card, wow. Still have that. That stuff left. So we just play and pray. It's enough. 273. Okay, cool. Which is again 5 glass cards, 3 or 4 steel, and 657 planets. It's a significantly worse build than last time, because I'm already 150 something planets. Do we get this guy and use for the multiplier? Or this guy? All the disco cards. Idol is also like, this is what we need if we think score is a problem. I think I'm just going to greed it, because I know I'm now safe to the next Ante. And by that time we have printed more planets. And we can, if we want to just make sure we do this as close to optimal as possible at this point. The greed is unmatched, yes. You are 100% correct. I have 4 E's to spare on the blinds. But if I could just find a polychrome, something that's an actual card that I want to use, this would also be useful. The idol is better. Wow, what a find. So many polychrome things now, but not like the playing cards just show up with nothing. And either way, all I can really use is a 2, or I guess technically an ace that we can just make a 2 quite easily. But if I'm lucky, just the planets will be enough. More people, welcome. One of the extra smart big brains that actually know how this works as well, which is very useful. It's not a nice number of planets, but maybe it is exactly the kind of power we need. Put the burglar in, do the things, and again I'm losing as many cards as I make. I can make 9 with the DNA, and I lose about 9 or more every round. So I still kind of have to print them if I want to ever have glass cards to work with. Tiny man. Not so tiny anymore. 516k. Yeah, I don't know why this... I mean, it is like 150 more planets than last time, and also I'm fairly certain I have more retriggers, because we had Andes and stuff last time. So we're doing basically... We're pushing the game into mod territory. I have still never tried Cryptid, but it's on the list. The very long list of things to do. I think I also see a pixel in here that is an actual not negative card. But I'm not gonna... I should have gotten Saturn already, I forgot. But I didn't have this on the castle run at all. But then again, we were just discarding and playing one hand. And, as I think I already said, less planets, less retriggers. And now we could, like, I'm thinking now, because the score has been so close, that I could technically play 5 cards and not score out. Yeah, that is going to be very hard. We can, like, manually throw away everything until it is on top, but that's kind of a tedious thing to do. Even more tedious than playing 18 billion hands into the tiny man just to watch the number go up. Like, at this point, the numbers have lost all meaning. Number go up, but brain no longer compute whatever that means. And I'm just kind of praying that I have enough steel cards at the end with the 5 glass card stack still. Because the Antes are going up quickly. And we've been sitting in the like 269, 273-ish within my last hands. It's a little bit closer than it has to be. And I also don't really know what else to talk about at this point. I've said everything. The only thing I want is still an ectoplasm, because I have a hand size of 10. Like, that has to mean that I have not used a single one. Because I think we saw it at 8, right? I don't even know, I don't remember. And we have had the 2 vouchers for plus hand size. Times 3060, yeah. I mean, it's like you can't find a seed that has literally everything, but still 37 Antes, not a single ectoplasm. And now I didn't really play to this guy much, but we have this guy, a negative version of him as well, that we just got as like a bonus on a stupid tag setup. But I could have kept a couple of 6s in here. Then I still have to pray that I draw a 6 first. But I still think the chances of him pulling an ectoplasm are low. And if I pull an ectoplasm now with 666 planets, duping that with Perkio is impossible. Well, I think this had 3 negative tags. Maybe 2, it could be the other seed that had, but I know I set up like something like 7 one time and 8 or 9 the other time. So we landed like a hack is an actually useful one. DNA was natural negative. Mime, I guess, is useful. No, I mean, it's not super big. Egg, like 196, 97 buck egg. Just an extra hit with the negative madness. This guy with the burglar, completely useless. We did land a negative brainstorm also with the tag, I think. Rebate. Campfire. So someone on the last stream had a brilliant idea that when we reach the end, we can sell every single planet and we build a massive campfire as well. So even though that has done nothing for the run, I could actually just buy and sell some crap. And like that's the way we score higher. Okay, move this guy out so there is a solution actually. There's a bull, gluttonous dude, a crazy straight man, duo actually relevant, boot kinda useless, and some other stuff that does nothing. It's a seeded run, yes. I don't think I would be able to do anywhere near whatever I'm doing with a normal run. Yeah, I'm wondering if we can hit infinity with that, because he stacks, what is it, 0.25 per card. I'm hoping I can just get Saturn so I don't have to literally click 1200, 1300 times. I also just played away all the cards I have, that's bad. Might have to save scum this. Because 2 steel cards might not be enough, it is enough. Nice. 274. Like, even the deck is lagging, and it's not that big. It's just as like we buy this guy, right? I'm not gonna buy any dudes because it actually doesn't go on top of the pile. This is a stupid idea. But we get, wow, 1.5. Well, partially I find seeds on Reddit. Like you can literally just Google like a negative Perkeo seed and whatever, and someone has probably shared one. There are also seed finding programs. The two I know, if I can remember what the first one is called, that I couldn't get to work, but there's an online one called The Egg, which is pretty good. It's just, this game has... It's something like 2 quintillion seeds, like it's an absolutely stupid, insane number. So if you look for very specific things, it will search forever. And also the finders don't really emulate the other program. I mean, the negative dice is probably the best one so far. Because most of the other ones are just like, it's just a stupid blueprint setup with Perkeo. It's the same every time. It's cool and stuff, but it also becomes the same thing. But the dice opens up so many possibilities. You could also like just skip to the end, but then we're destroying this guy. Could be a 2, but it's not gonna be useful. So how, like, this is also a problematic boss, like that would be the end. I've played literally every card in the deck, probably. Except for the new ones, what we make with the DNA. Face cards, the plant, we do not care about. Yeah, I don't even know what score the next Ante is, but we have been cutting it way too close. Like it's not looking like it's going to be enough. And I also don't know what to do about it, other than just like stacking the campfire. It's the one way out. But also like, well, this would be like 150, 160 something, a bit higher actually now with the cards if we sell them all. Just that's never going to be an infinity score, but it could still be a funny hand to play. Well, if we don't have 289 score, we have cash, so we can actually stack the campfire. Or idol, yeah. I did see an idol in this Ante that I gave up on. But the greed is still strong, right? The only things I can throw is a brainstorm, which would mean less stacking of this dude. But if we don't survive, like sacrificing a brainstorm is fine. If I throw the burglar, I don't have the hands. And that's literally it, that's all I have. So I'm thinking, if we don't have the 289 E's that we need, what I do is I just exit the game, I get Saturn to stack all of these into one. That way I can actually buy things in the shop without having to dig through my entire pile. And we can literally spend 2 grand buying and selling crap just to get a big campfire, and then we make it to the end. So not a good solution, but it is a solution. And it would mean actually using this as well, which not the hero I expected, but maybe the one we deserve. It looks like an absolute mess. Like it's just, ideally now I want to be a mix of just glass and steel with re-triggers, and I've also only found like 1 or 2 auras, I think, so we don't really have effects on any of the cards. I had 1 polychrome too, but it exploded because it was also a glass card. And I have also not really found any more red seals, so like that has been the hardest part of this. We have not had We have not had decent auras. But I mean, I still have red seals on basically every card, so it's not bad. It's just not as optimal as it could have been. And then I have also definitely not played every round optimally. Just for example, now when we are that close on score, if I just don't play glass cards, we can probably actually play 5 cards and still not win. And that way we play one more card per hand. Or that doesn't even matter if I play through the whole deck anyway, so never mind. Then we would need even more cards. Which, as long as I make all the new cards glass cards, that's also... Like, we cannot actually build a bigger deck because they just explode. And this is also just worse. It has an aura effect, sure. But it doesn't have the seal, and we need the seal with so many retriggers of the hacks. Or the one hack. But we only have one more Ante to go, and then the one round we get in 39. If we survive. And there's no guarantee that we actually have an idol in the next top either. But he's not super rare. I think I actually just do this and we draw the last two and we see what we get. Gold card is not good. The last thing I want to see. $280. So just printing another 9 planets is not going to be enough. We need something else. And I'm thinking the campfire is the funnier choice. But if I have to do this... Will nothing go on? No, it never goes on top. Perfect. Okay, I guess we have to do a mod thing. Or dig for an idol. Those are the two options. That's one I could use as well. But I want to find the... that one. I think it's just not no one planned for 675 consumables. But it happens over a certain number. But in order to not make that incredibly tedious, I think I just have to get Saturn in here. For which I will have to do this. So maybe this will work. I don't know if it applies to a game that was already in process. So we now have this. There are no options, so I'm just gonna have to assume that it works. Nope, we still have the super stack. Where's it here? Right. I guess it won't do it. Okay, that's the problem. We don't need to do that because we also have... Right. So can I leave it off? Let me just go back in and then activate it. The wrong one. Because then I still have this with the campfire. That's going to take 1,000 years to do. Especially if I... Alright, I have to merge all. Cool. It is working, I just didn't know how it works. It needs to calculate the stacking. But this is going to be fantastic. Like, what a genius idea. I really don't want to accidentally sell ore. Okay, and now we can just do... But the question now is, how big of a campfire do we need to score 10 more E's? We can now just literally buy these. I guess I should just use so I have more room. This is one of the dumbest ways we could do this, but that's why we should do it 3 times. Also I already forgot what he's called. The Emperor is great value. 2 cards for 1. So, what's the math? This is a change of plans. We are now betting everything on the campfire. Going to have to... I mean, I haven't checked the shop, but I'm assuming we're not just magically going to find an idol exactly when I need it. I haven't planned 38 Antes ahead, that's for sure. You get a gym boy in. Yes, the worst boy of them all. Temperance, I guess I still use just to find more things to buy and sell. Priestess is also nice value. Although it means more clicks. Because we only need this for this Ante, so I can spend all my cash, really. Because next Ante we are probably selling them anyway for the campfire. Although if we saved the cash, we could also do an even bigger campfire if we just buy and sell whatever stuff we can on top of the 700 cards that we are going to have. So it's probably, rather than actually doing the math, what I can do is just go into a hand, see what I have with my now 13 multiplier. Get it a cooler number than what we have now, like 20, 40. And this is why I have no idea what's actually good in this game as well, because I'm spending my time doing these kind of stupid things instead of like playing the stakes. I also don't know how I have the patience to do this, but I find just that I really, once I start, I just really don't care. Do the things, push the boy, find literally whatever it takes to make it extra mad. This is an option also. It's only 14.4, like I actually don't have that many steel cards. That is a possibility. And since we do not have a showman, I can't find more of the same planet, which would be better, because then we could just use them for a bigger starting multiplier. Instead we're doing campfire strats. Hopefully that's just more like funny that we find we have a problem that we can solve in an incredibly dumb way. I was also considering at some point, we have all the cards are hearts just in case we want to pick up an idol or a bloodstone. But if we made some of them a different suit, we could have played 5 cards all along, because it wouldn't have been a flush 5. I guess there's also the low, very low chance that we have a natural negative in here that's actually useful. Again, Steel Guy is an option. But there aren't many options that will actually help. Also very interesting gameplay, I know. It is what it is. We are all in on the campfire. I could also now, like I could bring a steel card in and we can make more steel dudes for the last hand if we don't have enough. Like there are tweaks we can do, same with glass cards. And we can pray for a wheel. Nope. Nope. It's like you paying like $4 for a multiplier is not actually that bad of a deal. Maybe that's another joker I should do something with. I don't think I will ever top stacking 673 cards into it, but let's try 30. It might not be enough, but whatever, let's just go. what we do now is that we just do this. Then we save scum, and we just try and see what we have. So. We also have more steel cards in hand now, so this is not like totally accurate, but that is also not enough, right? We need a bigger campfire. But that was close. I mean, we have the cash, so like it is possible because this is the last Ante that we actually need the multiplier, right? So it should be fine. But that was also 6 steel cards in hand, which I cannot have normally. So we need a bit extra for that. Let's just drag it to 50, a nice round number. And we could actually also, we could sell these, because it's now, if it's going to be 50 or whatever we get it to, we can then actually still sell them. No, we can't because we need to beat the boss. But we could sell them just for a look. First, yeah, this would have been, I would have to throw like 20 cards for every single card. I'm just glad that Saturn works. So, a blessed invention by some genius. It's becoming quite expensive though. And I did land something with this. A foil, wow. And 10 more planets is literally 1 Perkio print. I think we get 9 per round. So we add that on top of the campfire. But it's just, it's a stupid enough solution that it's still funny to just try. And now suddenly these guys, look at the value. 2 cards for $1. That's half a multiplier for 1 Balatro dollar. Actually not bad. This is also like technically more multiplier, but if I have to give up a retrigger, like it's not worth it in any shape or form. It's just funny, we get so many polychrome things now. Also, one of these days, I just misclick and sell the stack. And I guess the good news is also that the shop is now like having all these vouchers with all this. That's generally just useless stuff in between the jokers that you are looking for. Now it's actually super relevant. We could also get this guy still 14 times on top of the campfire. Not bad. Can we even get him to 50? Because it's actually, if we can handle it now, we can get more value out of the cash we have rather than throwing it all away and literally 10 more rerolls. So let's try again, I guess. Going with the burglar. Do a DNA thing. Again, it's more glass cards than we can normally have. Not going to be super accurate, but if it's enough, it's enough. It's still not enough. It made literally no difference with 11 more multiplier. We'd need a different solution probably. That's the wrong save was. Yes. But I think really the only option is the idol then. There's nothing else that would work. Yeah, it's nowhere near good enough. We have an idol in 37, so I guess that's the... like, we have to roll back to that. It's also not that far back, so that's fine. It's just I would have rather not rolled back and just been able to do it with the campfire. That would have been better, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Like 10 more rerolls, we don't get that much out of him. Okay, well, I guess I like to save scum as little as possible, but we are this close. We are now in Ante 37 again. Tiny man is now very tiny. I have no idea where I am in the shop. Where are we actually? We are... okay, we have probably not rolled that much. Or have I used skip the whole shop already? One free reroll is nice. But now we need to hunt for one specific card. Nothing else matters. And as far as I can tell... and we do have one, right? But we don't need it now, we need it next round. So we can still greed one round. Just do a bit of rerolling now and a bit after. I don't know why I'm looking in the packs. Oh yeah, I also rolled back enough that they are not stacked. Just watching a different number go up. More number, more good, and all that. And I have also kept 2 more. I still don't know if it's better to use these. So, last time we were forced to play some extra Antes. This time I have to replay some Antes. It's the stuff we have to deal with. It's also calculating faster, so I don't know if... either it's just that these are not on screen, or because there was a disable animation in Saturn also. It could be that one of the mods is just more optimized, I don't know, but it's actually a big difference, which is nice. $5.19, so we're going to have a worse end result now, but it's still like a huge dude that I think I can live with. I'm not doing another 400 hours of recording just to build a slightly larger dude. That is actually insane. That's pretty bad, right? Like, it's this math inside this. It's just so we know actually how wild this is. So what's the score you're trying to beat in Ante 8 normally? Like 200k? Here is just meaningless numbers. There's many different numbers also to make it even more complicated. 200k, right? Yeah, then it goes up reasonably fast, I imagine. I still haven't done gold. I've done orange, I'm certain of, and then I don't know. But only on one deck, so still a lot to do. Maybe with 1,000 runs on normal stakes, we will find a cool big man, tiny big man seed again. It's unlikely. That's an insane find. Sneak in one more glass card. The extra score greed. So how far did you manage to take Jorik in a normal run? Because if you don't have the like a million Andys, he's still quite hard to stack compared to many other things. Okay, now we definitely need the idol. Which is hopefully in here somewhere. It's also this guy for a 3 multiplier. Yeah, I have a hard time stopping at 8. Even if I have, I mean, regardless of if I have a terrible build or something crazy, I just push it until it burns. Like the wheels need to be nice now. We need everything we can get. Really, is the idol is going to be such a huge boost that it's fine, right? But I am going to have to split the re-triggers if I understand this correctly. Well, we have 8. There's 6 blueprints and 2 brainstorms. And then I have red seals on basically all the cards. This is still an expensive dig for a dude that better exist. Well, there we have him, and he also 10 multiplier, wow. But now I'm going to have to throw one of the brainstorms, so we're going to be down to 7. I am finding spectral cards, just none that actually work or help. Yeah, we have a save for this guy also. The brainstorm, you're out. I'm just gonna keep him here for now. Well, underneath the tiny man. We're making now also less planets, less burglar things. It's also a boss I can't play. That's pretty big. That would have been like, we need 10 more rounds with Perkio printing to make up for that, so that's, he's compensating for another 3 more Antes. Pretty good. And look at how much smoother this is now. That's a 5. There's no calculating on screen, everything is fine. Well, it's not fine, we are still like borderline dead every round, but... So is it still correct to split the multipliers? Or the retriggers, I mean. Because the thing I don't fully understand is if I'm retriggering the hack, I'm retriggering the card anyway, so shouldn't it just go through the idol every single retrigger anyway, or is it just better to have a retrigger for every card played as well as, I guess, what you get if you split some on this guy. So it does make sense. Just never the first time I think about it. Are you actually doing real math, or are you just like poking an AI to do the deed? They are pretty good at math. It's actually harder to explain to them the rest of the stuff going on in the game. But I think like the examples I've seen on Reddit is that you get more total retriggers by splitting them. It's like if I had all the 7 on the hack, that is 8 retriggers. But if I split 2 off to this guy, I have 5 on this guy, but for every retrigger I also have, there's going to be 15 instead of 7, or something like that. So it actually does add up to a lot. Could also now just greed it, because we don't need to have all of them on the idol, maybe just 1. Just to continue to greed Tiny Man. I now have more cards than hand, so I don't need to use the DNA. Let's just try this now also. When we have, just see an actual hand played, if it's not lagging. That means I can go get a drink and stuff meanwhile. And we need to move the idol in. How about you get 2? Because the brainstorm is always going to be here, and then we have to fight on that. all blueprints on idle. We hit... I only slapped 2 on him and we hit infinity, so I think we are fine. We don't need the math if it's just magically solved. And then the campfire is just going to have to sit at whatever it managed to hit. But that means in this shop there's now nothing matters now. We have the score, we just plow in and see where we end. And another interesting thing with the mod, like when you have them stacked, it only has to go through 1 card. So the animation is 1,000,000 times faster. Quite nice. Very useful mod. And the problem with using ChatGPT is that, sure, we have the main thing is the idol and the hack and the planets. But we do also have like the cards and stuff, like there's more variables that are harder to explain to an AI. So it's probably doing the math based on like just the idol and the hack, but if we have the optimal setup for that, even if the math is off, it should still be fine. So what do we have left? We have this 2 more rounds here. And then 1 in 39. So I guess the question now is, can we find a showman and then another blueprint in the last shop? Also, I'm breaking so many glass cards. Just look at the scores. It's 14 or 20 E's on each side after the plasma merge. So we actually have spare hands also. Just play 2, try to greet it. Now with that we have the idol. What if we do only 1 on the idol? Is maybe not the time to experiment, but 1 is enough. Nice. Maybe we don't even need the 1. Possible, because we have so many other things going on. So we do use the DNA again. So we're hitting 550 in this. So it should end somewhere around 570. Which is slightly higher than I thought I would get. It's also going to be a nice 100k up from where we started today. Another very smart person in chat to figure out this puzzle. Welcome. We have a big tiny man, but he is now being carried by the idol. Because as we don't have enough score. And we are also finally approaching the end of this, because obviously the gameplay is not that watchable. But the result might be. Yeah, the idol is crazy, look. What were we at? I think we had... It's 289 here and we were like 288, so it's very close. Close enough that we tried to just stack the campfire to see if that was enough. But the idol, like, if we're that close anyway, just the idol in here with one trigger is massive. Definitely. Is he the only one with 10 mult? We have the disco guy here, and then we just have foil blueprints. Do you think the idol can carry, even if we dump the whole stack? The campfire is now... Like, I had it at 41, I think, before we realized that that plan was crazy. So what we could do to, like, maximize it is we play this all the way through, then we load that save and we throw away everything there, and we have an extra 50 multiplier on top of whatever it would have been. I think we just do this again. You go in here and we play these. We could maybe greed like a few more cards. That is a score I can live with. And we could also, in 39, we could fish for... This doesn't really matter. Do we get less hands as well? Because... Does he turn discards into hands? I don't even know. The only one hand doesn't matter. Serpent doesn't matter. Let's do the goad. I think we still do the DNA. Maybe. Yeah, that just solves it with the idol, like it has really... Now it's just a matter of playing it through, there's no thinking, but... The campfire was a funnier idea, a very, very... Like a terrible solution. But if we could have just spent all the cash, and... It would have needed to be... I don't even know, but higher than 50 multiplier at least. To get us to like 290s to survive. And then even further in the next Ante. So it really had to be the idol, or I think a bloodstone would have been enough as well, because everything is hearts. And even if we don't have a dice, since we don't need that huge of a boost, surely we would hit enough triggers of that to be fine also. We will also hit 700 planets, which is nice. And I could have definitely stacked more. I don't know when I started stacking them. But if I did that properly, we would have also not had to do this idle shenanigans. Oh yeah, I can't play 5. Are you sure we can play 5 now with the idol though? Because even if he's not re-triggered, he's going to trigger once. Okay, well, let's try it. 287. I have actually already played a 5, so I guess you saw that before I did. Yeah. This is why crowd control is good. Just you guys play you better than me anyway. And also if we're playing, I'm just now... I don't know how many hands, but I've played like 1,000 hands of 4 cards. It's just like literally automated in my brain. And now we don't have enough cards, but it's faster, so it's still a good solution. That's too much though. So it has to be a 5 with like maximum 1 glass card, I guess. But this is now, we need to hit negative nan. Glassless 5 hands. Do we roll back for that as well? Because we are now... That means that we're not hitting 70. But it's also like these mini or small rollbacks. Like... I can't actually play a glassless 5 soon though, because I'm going to have... If 1 glass is enough, I guess what we do, we play some 4s and some 5s. So is there anything we want in the last shop? Just because we can. We could throw away the idol again. For example, we don't need him because we literally cannot beat the score. There is a showman. So there's a chance. Well, I don't think I have enough cash now because we also have all the tarots, all the planets, all that kind of stuff in the shop. So it's going to be... Yeah, using all planets just to stack the campfire is a fantastic idea. Then I don't know, we could pick up like a banana or whatever just for fun. That's all of it. So idle was enough with 1. What if we just cheese in 2 more cards? $560. Yeah, campfire is definitely funnier. He can be the new MVP because we can hide this guy, then he doesn't exist. And we should still... Right. I don't think I can find another like blueprint even if I tried. So rolling the shop is just a waste of time. We could get like 1 more consumable to sell. Cryptid, wow. Actually not the worst thing I could imagine. I mean, that's an idea. But if the score is still like... So you mean if this changed to be like E310 or whatever? Yeah, maybe. But then last stream we went down and did 2 extra Antes. Imagine if I had to do another 40 Antes, like I would be retired by the time we finish our 12 million stacked tiny man. Yeah, it might be, because I guess that's the point, like to make you go further, but I'm saying, do we want to go? Like, taking him to 1 million is literally going to take about as long as it took to get here. That's another couple of weeks. I think we just buy a random planet. We go in. We can skip just to get a pack in case we get a cool 2. We do not. I'm gonna go in here just because it's cooler to go into the boss. Then we get the hands. I don't think DNA matters here because, or maybe it does because we need to be able to play more hands, which we need more cards for. But now what we can do is a big 1 multiplier. And then we drag him from 1.75. We get 1,400 bucks. Wow, we could have actually had our way in the shop. It doesn't work with the mod, maybe. You sell, you get the cash, but it's not fast enough to stack, so we actually got nothing. Now I wonder if I roll back and I split it in half or whatever, but... Oh, maybe it will. Still funnier, we just got scammed out of whatever big. And now I can just play 5s all the time, I just need a hack for tiny man stacking. It did not update after the hand. But the problem is, like, even if we restart, we will have to sell them manually, I imagine, for that to work. This is what I need an AI for. Just like, could we have the AI in here doing the selling so I don't have to do... Or was it 700 planets? Like 1,400 clicks. It's not a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to see the number, but I think it's almost even funnier to get the money. Hope that we would have, what would it be, 700 planets, so like 175-ish multiplier. So 1 point, like we're only a decimal off, really. It's the epic quest to do, like on top of the huge tiny man, we just get a spare huge campfire. And we tried very hard, stacked all the planets, and then we just got scammed and we got nothing. I think that's funnier. Yeah, so you trade 700 planets for 13 planets. That's at least a good number to keep in mind. Can do that. I just want to keep the blueprint still stack this guy with the hack. That's all they do. But I think with the idol now, we have had one less sweet trigger for so many hands. We're not getting 5/7. We are almost out of cards. 570. Plus whatever the last card does, but that's it. We could clean up here now. We need the hack, we don't need the DNA. Don't need you. We don't need a legendary. Or a mime. Oh yeah, we also got the egg. $212 egg. Negative egg. He can stay. Bones. Never used. Half man. Patient brainstorm. This guy especially can get lost. Lots of cool negatives. Bull. Like, we have a nice meal, a steak and an egg that we could have burned on the campfire if it actually did anything. And then we have just to clean these guys. The egg and the tiny man. But this is also pretty big, like, it could be bigger, because I didn't find it at the start. I picked it up in Ante 7 or 9, which is where I think the tags were. I mean, I still want to run these just to see what the... We can still do one more retrigger and get him slightly bigger. So I think the way I want to end it. 570, 208. And then I can't sell him while he's playing, but... And that's the end. 7,400 cards played. That's a couple of hands. Most 1,555 for of a kind. And there were other hands in there as well. But like only 1,300 rerolls. I think I am digging deep in the shop, but that's not as deep as I thought it was. And this seed also starts, the first pack has a negative blueprint. And then you also have a spectral pack with the cards you can clone the blueprint. So you start with 2. And then I think we also had a natural negative Perkeo, so like it's an insane seed. And also I'm glad that's over. I don't know how... What is this? This is today 1 hour 40. Gonna look at the other recordings. This is like 22 hours of recordings is what it took to get here. It's not only this seed, but that's too much. That's a full day. Now the editing is easy because this like 1 hour 45 recording, I have like 2 things that we need to see. The end result and the attempt with the campfire and the planet scam. That's basically it, so it will be fast. But I think I'm gonna call it here. That's enough Balatro. Need to also do some science for the next one, which might be stone cards, because that should be funny. Hopefully disco rocks, although I'm not sure how likely that is to just find outside of crowd control, guaranteeing them. So thank you for watching, thank you for the help, I really appreciate it. Because there's so many things I would miss otherwise, like accidentally playing 5s and not even realizing like we would have missed a couple of 100 played hands maybe.